Twitch. Hello, Twitch. Here you are. 1 second, guys. A second. I need to fix that too. My chair. 1 more second. Go live, Twitch. In the real life. I'll use 4/4/6/21. Done. Start stream. Hopefully I can get this to load proper. Oh my god, I'm knocking over post-it notes. Oh! God damn it! I hate you, Bigsby. I hate Bigsby. It wrecks Twitch. Every single time. Alright. Stupid Bigsby. Okay. Twitch is a little crooked. Not gonna lie. God damn it, it happened again. Go live. Let's go. Start stream. Okay, sort of working, kind of. No. Why do I keep getting application errors? Let's close it all. Hello, Twitch. No, I don't need a beta. Please be working. Okay, Twitch is finally working. Sort of. Hello. Okay. Okay. Sort of. Ready, kind of. All right, I'm gonna take off my mask, and so that the deaf community can read my lips because I can't sign fast enough. Let's see. It's been a wild week for comics. Any pop culture news real fast?
King Kong Godzilla came out. It was amazing.
Godzilla versus King Kong was pretty good. Pretty good. I will say that the little girl can sign in that movie, and the female actress does not know sign language, and it was kind of apparent. She needed better coaches. That's all I'm going to say on that. I have poor connection. Oh no, poor connection. Okay. Hopefully everyone else is seeing us good. I don't know what's going on with Twitch. Maybe it'll work, maybe not. Let's get right to it. Yeah, Twitch is having problems right now. It's just poor connection. I don't know what to make of it. Any other pop culture news, real fast? Nothing off the top of your head. Didn't a trailer drop today? The Batman Longest Halloween dropped today. And then the new Loki trailer dropped yesterday, and I'm pretty excited for that one. Yeah. The Living Tribunal starring Owen Wilson is very that's some wildness they got going on. Whoever's watching us on Twitch, I hope you can see me because it says I have poor connection, and I'm sorry.
Multiple trailers dropped over the weekend.
Yeah, multiple. What other trailer? Oh, Space Jam dropped. I haven't seen it.
LeBron James dropped.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Oh, hi. What is this?
Instagram.
Oh, Instagram. Oh, okay. I guess we're doing Instagram now, too.
Yeah.
That's probably going to mess up our connection that much more. But it's cool. A lot of upstream going right now. Hopefully we're okay. Poor connection still on Twitch. I don't know what's going on. If you're watching us on Twitch, let me know if it's coming through clear or it's telling me poor connection. So I don't know. It's fine. We'll make it do work. What else? What else is going on? Any other pop culture news before we jump into it?
New Mortal Kombat trailer.
Oh, yeah, new Mortal Kombat trailer. That's still not out. They delayed that by a week. Okay.
23rd.
Okay, well, we'll wait and see how that is. We'll wait and see how that is. Let's just jump into it. I'm gonna do an explosive book. Not my pick of the week for DC. Pretty close, though. N.K. Jemisin, Jamal Campbell. My God, I love Far Sector. And me and Cam have had this long discussion with her powers and both her skill set. I honestly think that Joe Mullen might actually be the most powerful of all Green Lanterns, probably surpassing Hal Jordan. And I know I'm saying blasphemy there, considering Hal Jordan at one point was able to make his own lantern ring and was actually made up of willpower at one point. I think Joe Mullen might be more powerful. There's so much good in this. I got to tell you that this read itself it's just phenomenal. I love the character Joe Mullen, but really I like the stage that N.K. Jemisin has set. She's basically created 3 alien species that are all sort of based off of other science fiction franchises, and they've all been forced to live together in a giant city, and now that city has descended into chaos. If it reminds you of Judge Dredd, it should. It does have a very Judge Dredd feel. So while I feel like she referenced both Star Wars, Star Trek, and there's another one that she referenced. What are the plant people? Maybe, yeah, but there's. Well, anyway, she pulled those other science fiction franchises in, and now I get the sense that she's also sort of pulled in a little bit of Judge Dredd. I honestly love it. Like this is how you write a really compelling story with amazing characters and a new mythos on an old system. We all know that Joe Mullen's ring is a completely different ring, and it's not function. It doesn't function the same way. It doesn't need to be charged up by a central power battery, and really, it sort of depends on her level of willpower. And right now, it's kind of running low because she's a bit tired at this point. So we're seeing limitations. But I got to tell you, I love this character so friggin' much. And so I would say absolutely 100% don't skip it. Asshole food truck. Oh, hey, Sarbaliki, my old squad leader. He says, I like Judge Dredd. You would love this, honestly, Sar. You would love this. It's amazing. And I still stand by the fact that Joe Mullen threw perhaps the third. No, I'm going to say it. It's the second greatest punch in DC history. That's all I'm going to say. She threw just an epic of a punch this year, and everybody needs to just get this comic for that one scene. But we are, sadly, one issue away from the end of Far Sector, and just don't skip it. All of them are good. They're amazing, amazing. Next is Thorn, Soy, Santuki, and Sinclair, and we're talking about Infinite Frontier. Green Lantern #1. The corpse come to corpse conflict. Teen Lantern arrives. Now, yes, we all kind of hate video play slows down for me. I'm sorry, Carl. I don't know how to fix that. We've got poor connection on Twitch, and I don't know. I don't think there's a fix for it that I can do right now. Okay. Maybe if you can't, come view us on YouTube because that one seems to be working. It's a different camera angle because it's a different laptop, but it's there. Next is this is centers around Teen Lantern, kind of. It's more about John Stewart. John Stewart, if you don't know, John Stewart has been a Guardian and is now being picked to represent the OA for the United Planets. They're trying to get OA voted into the United Planets. It's actually really cool. And, if you didn't know that about John Stewart, he's honestly my favorite of the Lanterns, save for maybe Joe Mullen. I think Joe Mullen might be giving a run for his money right now. But he has been my favorite of the Lantern Corps. He's ex-military, and he's an architect, and his constructs are just, in my opinion, the best. Plus, him as a character has just always been really amazing. So he has actually acted as a Guardian before, so the Guardians are tapping him for this momentous event. And we're going to see a lot of the other Lantern Corps in play, because some of them do have planets, like Sinestro Corps does have a planet. The Red Lanterns have Yismal. They do have a planet. There is... As of yet, I have not seen Larfleeze, but Larfleeze does technically have a planet. He actually has a sector. Are we going to see him? Probably not. I don't know. I really want to see him, though. We haven't seen him since the beginning of Rebirth. What's my man doing? I have no idea. Is this a good issue? Yes, it's amazing. The art is great. The storyline was really good. By the time I got to the end of it, I felt like I had read a trade paperback. It was that good. There was so much action. There may be a first appearance. There's a character I don't recognize. Do you recognize that character? The one wearing white with he looked like a White Lantern almost, but not quite. Right?
He almost looked like a Apache chief.
Yeah, he did look like Apache Chief. I did not know that character, but we might have a first appearance in this. John Stewart didn't seem to know him either. Is it good? Yes, it's amazing. I had a good time, even with Teen Lantern, who, in my opinion, I like the character. I hate the name. I still have not bonded. Like, that name sucks. Change that name. But is Kelly an amazing character? Yes, she is. We're going to get some info on that gauntlet she's wearing. Now, it has been assumed that was Kronos' gauntlet, and it would make sense since Kronos, who created the first power gauntlet, which was the basis for the power rings, We know that. The Guardians have had it locked up for some time. She found the gauntlet. Is it the same? Well, you're going to find out in this issue. Don't skip it. Honestly, for a number one, that was amazing, and that's going to be my DC pick of the week. For sure. Absolutely, without a doubt. Green Lantern, number one. Don't skip it. Next is a book I actually really love. It's called it's by Wildghost, Kumar, and Farado Jr. This is Man-Bat. A few things I didn't know. I didn't know Kirk's sister was deaf, but it was nice to see some good representation in this comic and good signs. I can honestly say that the signs in this comic were better than the signs in Kong versus Godzilla or Godzilla versus Kong. They actually nailed the signs pretty good. On top of that, they nailed the deaf community pretty good as well. There is a scene in this where Kirk says something that is absolutely the most offensive thing you can say to a person whom is deaf. And so that was pretty interesting to see. The writer knows their stuff, at least about deaf culture and deaf community. And while it was a bit offensive, I want to know where it's going. So, yeah, is it good? Yes, it's good. There's plenty of action. The art's good. I really love the first issue. And I got to tell you, if ever somebody should counsel Man-Bat, it should be Harley. Or maybe it shouldn't. Harley's kind of a mess herself. Anyways, but it was fun to see. So don't skip this one either. Really good read. Next is, John Ridley, Atkins, Foreman, Morales, and Locus. And we're talking about Batman Second Son. Now, do I love Jace Fox? Yes, I do. Jace Fox is an amazing character. I will say that this, as a number one, there was some action. There was not enough action. And I have to say that I'm not liking the look of the new Batwing suit. We discussed it. It's got too much forehead for me. You'll have to see it. It wasn't my favorite suit. Now, yes, Tim Fox is calling himself Jace Fox. Do we have an explanation? No, but he's still snapping at people for not calling him Jace. Well, the explanation is sort of given that Tim Fox has a checkered past. So he's changed his name. It doesn't really take away your past. And honestly, Luke Fox has an issue with that for good reason. But yes, Jace Fox is a cooler name. We still don't really have a true explanation as to why that changed. And we are really seeing the birth of Batman Second Son. So the next Batman is being born in this. We had him in Future State. We're going to get a bit more of his background story, and it's good. It's good. I'm having a good time with it. It's okay. I'm occasionally, but I'm dealing with it. Okay, Carl, glad to know that. So don't skip this one either. It's a number one. You want it. Trust me, you want this Batman Second Son stuff. It's great. The art, I will tell you, I was a little on the fence with the art at one point. I'm not sure why it was. Oh, I know why it was. Because I hate the new Batwing suit. I'm gonna keep throwing that one out there. It's got weird. It's like Batman crossed with a Ferengi. I don't know. It's just way too much forehead. Next is Tinian, Jimenez, and Morey. And if you recognize that team, you've got Batman 107. Now, this centers around, the fallout from A-Day when all the Arkham inmates were released. And the fact that, Jonathan Crane, the Scarecrow, was supposedly killed. But was he? Is anyone really in comics? So he's kind of coming back, and that's a problem for Bruce and all of Gotham. Meanwhile, yes, you get an appearance of Ghostmaker, the terrible name taker. I don't know. Do you like Ghostmaker, Cam?
Nope.
You don't like him. Do you like Ghostmaker, Yogi?
Yeah.
Nah, to me it feels like a throwaway character, and his origin, in my opinion, sucked. Bruce has had a friend all along that goes way, way back to the birth of Batman, and we've seen that before. I don't care for that. On top of that, the name is terrible. Ghostmaker. That name sucks. That's Teen Lantern's not as bad as Ghostmaker. I think Ghostmaker's worse.
Almost as bad as Battlestar.
Or Liar.
Oh, God.
That Liar is the peak of horrible comic names. And they're all DC. Except Battlestar. Battlestar's not DC. That's a terrible name, though, too. He just really liked Battlestar Galactica. That's just where he got his name. Is the art good in Batman 107? Yes. The art is great. Is the storyline good? Yeah, it's okay. This is the birth of the Magistrate, which is sort of okay. I will say this. If you know any of the Bruce Wayne alter egos for certain things, you might know what I'm talking about. And as someone who has a penchant for Marvel's alter ego named Joe Fixit, if you know the darker Bruce Wayne alter ego, you know that that character's in play here. Granted, he's not from a what is it called again? It's not multiple personality disorder. It's dissociative identity disorder. Bruce Wayne doesn't have that, unlike Bruce Banner with Joe Fixit, but it is an alternate version of Bruce Wayne. That's what I'm going to say. You know what I'm talking about. V. Perkins and Spicer. This is Swamp Thing. Now, I got to tell you, I am absolutely, without a doubt, in love with the art for this. To me, it feels like the last Constantine run, which was just the right amount of grit for Constantine and just the right amount of grit for Swamp Thing. And it feels right, too, because Constantine and Swamp Thing kind of go together. Like, they work together quite a bit. Justice of Dark, various events. They're just kind of old friends that also sort of hate each other, which is, it's just a good odd couple. Now, is Constantine in this? No, sadly. This is a new Swamp Thing who is getting visions of the Nevada desert and walking around there while the other character might be alive. The first one opened with an airline crashing and then waking up a Swamp Thing. Now, if you know the Alec Holland Swamp Thing story, that centered around Alec Holland dying in a swamp and Swampy sort of taking him for an archetype and having Alec Holland's memories, but not actually being Alec Holland. This might be a similar thing. He might be just having that, but it seems like he's having dreams while he's still living his life. And it's sort of unclear as to what's going on. Meanwhile, he's encountering another, a manifestation of sorts that he has to deal with. So is it good? Yes, it's good. It's great. I'm loving it. I like that we have a new Swamp Thing. I'm a huge Swamp Thing fan, though. I want to know where it's going, and the mystery has me hooked, which is a good sign of a good storyteller. So don't skip this. It's amazing. Honestly, a really, really good book. Almost a pick of the week. Next is Shia, Redondo, and Lucas. This is Sensational Wonder Woman. And again, this is another DC book whose art has just sort of blown me away. I really love the art, but I like this for another reason, and that reason is I'm a huge Red Hood and the Outlaws fan, and the more recent incantation featured a fiery redhead with a battle axe named Artemis, and where you can tell from the cover that she's kind of in play and might actually go head-to-head with Diana. Is it a good fight? Yeah, it's a good fight. It's a really good fight. So don't skip it. The art is good. The storyline's good. Had a great time. Was not disappointed. And again, just a really good read from DC this week. DC is sort of knocking it all out of the park. Next is Thompson, Pansica, Ferreira, and Maiolo. And this is Suicide Squad. Now, I will preface this by saying I have never been a really big Suicide Squad fan. It's not really the only thing I really, really, really love about Suicide Squad is Amanda Waller, because I like her as a character. Suicide Squad themselves, it's never really hooked me. That said, I am having a pretty good time with this team, and I'm excited to see, oddly enough, one of my favorites from back in the day. I mean, I know he wasn't anyone else's favorite, but I like Connor Kent. And it's nice to see him used in a different way from just sort of clone of Superman. Now he's being used for the Suicide Squad, which doesn't make sense in any way, but we're going to see how it plays out. Is it good? Yes, it's good. And currently their whole plan was to break into Arkham and rescue Talon? Yeah, Talon is in play and a member of the Suicide Squad. So we're getting a whole Court of Owls pull in this, and I love the Court of Owls. They're so twisted. So yes, it's great. I had a good time with it, and I'm saying that as somebody who is really not into the Suicide Squad. I gotta tell you, I knew a gal that was really loved the Suicide Squad movie, and told me that her and her boyfriend were like Harley and Joker, and she just loved that love story, and I was so grossed out. Not just by the level of being that much of a casual fan and knowing that that's not a good love story, but by the fact that you would assume that the whole of it was like that, because that is really one of the most. Harley herself even though she originated from the cartoon series, is easily one of the most complex characters in DC history. And if you think that her and Joker are a love story, you got problems. Let me get a drink. Boy, that went down the wrong pipe, let me tell you. I'm knocking over stuff over here. Let's go on to the next book, and this will be the last DC book of the week, and that is Crime Syndicate. This is Schmidt, McCown, Hitch, Vines, Olaf, and Sinclair. I really, really liked the first one. Again, though, Owlman always does kind of feel like another version of Talon to me, even though he's not. He's just Batman's incarnation on the Crime Syndicate, which is the Earth 3 Justice League, but they're not about justice. They're pretty much evil Justice League. And Ultraman himself, who is the Superman one, eats and sniffs kryptonite. Yeah, there's a lot of weirdness in this. You had to expect it. In this one in particular, you're going to get Ultraman possessed by Starro fighting Donna Troy. And I got to tell you, it is not only one heck of a fight, but the collateral damage alone proves that, well, they just don't give a crap about regular humans on Earth 3. And is it twisted? Yeah, it's twisted. But the art's really good and the story's really good, and I found myself laughing a couple times. So I had a good time with it, and I would say another book from DC this week that you probably shouldn't skip. It's great. You know, I never noticed this, but Donna Troy of Earth 3 has her lasso has, no joke, barbed wire. Yeah, I swear to God, it's a barbed wire lasso. That's wild. That's wild. Is it good? Yes. Again, a really, really good comic. Don't skip it this week. Had a good time. Next is Howard Toe and R.C. Onega, and we're talking about Excalibur. Now, poor old Betsy Braddock has had one heck of a wild run recently. She's come back to life after being literally shattered. That's not an exaggeration. She didn't just lose a fight. She got shattered, and it was the biggest shutdown in that entire Swords of X of Swords event. So she's back to life. There is a lot of Captain Britain multiverse in play with Excalibur, which I don't normally like, but there's a bigger problem in I can't say a newer villain, but a villain reappearing in the form of Malice, who is very, what's his name? The Rat King? No, not the Rat King. What's the name of the guy who was the villain in the X-Men Telepath Legion? His name is the Rat something. I can't remember his name. No. I can't remember, but she has a very much a feel like that. She's like telepathic and attacking people, and there's problems. Is it good? Yes, it's great. Actually, I had a good time, and I'm saying that as somebody who's pretty bitter about Excalibur because like too much of it centers around Captain Britain, and again, I don't know anyone that likes Captain Britain, and I'm not sure that anyone else knows that many people that like Captain Britain. So it's a weird thing to focus on all the time. Get back to the fantasy element, please. But is this issue good? Yeah, it's good. It's honestly great. It'll be here. Next is a book I absolutely love, and I think I reviewed it when we only had the Ash Can, or maybe I just read it and set it aside. I don't know if I reviewed it. Next is McKay, Guerra, and Consoni. This is Magic the Gathering, issue number 1. Now, keep in mind, this is based off a card game that has been around for decades now and is a really good card game, but usually when you get game properties in comic forms, they're so-so. That's not the case with this. This was outstanding, ridiculously good. I would say this rivals the Critical Role fantasy that we have on our shelves in both art, color, and story. It was brilliant, well-told story. Hooked me, and I wanted to be a planeswalker by the end of this issue. And, you know, you sort of forget that with Magic the Gathering, it's not just like regular wizards. There is science involved. At times, there are mad scientists. There is plenty of dark stuff. Everyone's got their own flavor for how they handle their, I guess, wizarding powers or deck. But that's what you get in this. It's really, really awesome. And it centers around Ravnica, which Ravnica apparently is a really, really standard part of Magic the Gathering lore. It was wicked and cool, and by the end of it, I wanted to know so much more. I felt like this was something that I would get out of a novel, like just a ton of mythos in one comic. So don't skip it. Indie pick of the week right here. Definitely don't skip it. We have plenty on our shelf, and it's amazing. Really, really good. Next is J. Michael Straczynski, C.P. Smith, and Snakebite Cortez. Now, I do love me some Straczynski, and I really, really did love this art. It's very, very gritty. The storylines, it's a little weird. It centers around, the military, superpowers, and an impending revolution that you sort of know is coming. And it's probably going to be superheroes versus the government. That seems like a fun fight. It also kind of seems like an unfair fight to me because my money's kind of on the government there. Nah, I couldn't do that. I have to go with superheroes. It's just, I don't know, the government can be really, really, really wicked, and we know that from our own world. So anyways, is it good? Yeah, I had a really, really good time with it. It's Straczynski doing what Straczynski does. There's a bit of mystery, there's a bit of fun, and the art was super good. So it was good to see. I want to know where it's going. I'm not going to say that this is a must-buy this week. It's a pick it up, thumb through it, and see if you like it. And then next issue, we'll decide if it's a must-buy. It's really, really close. It's a good opening. We'll have to wait and see. Next is McCreary, Glass, and Nesternko, and this is The Last Witch off Boombox. Now, I'm happy to say that sometimes I'm wrong. And when this opened, I said, it seems a bit tropey. I can almost guarantee that this little girl who is scared of witches is going to become a witch. And, well, I was right there. But I was wrong about the rest of it. I said, it could be tropey. Like, maybe it's not going to be that fun. We'll have to wait and see. It's amazing. It's honestly really, really good. The story's great. It's gone in weird directions. Yes, she is learning what her power set is as a witch, but there is also fairies involved. A bit of politics, a bit of poverty, a bit of fable, and it's just, for whatever reason, it really works. An impending apocalypse, all of this is thrown in there, and it works well. Plus, the art is really what's selling me on this. The storyline's good, really good. The art is amazing. I don't know what they've done here, but it feels like Saturday morning crossed with comics. Like it's like a Saturday morning cartoon, but not too whimsical, like where it's so whimsical that it feels like it's going to rot your teeth from the sugary sweetness of it. I don't like that sort of art. It's just shy of that, which seems to fit this story well. So it's awesome. Come pick it up. They're ripping off Hush. Who's ripping off Hush? Let's keep going. McKay, Magno, and Guru Effects, and we're talking about Avengers Mech Strike. And this story, again, this is another one where I was like, oh, look, it's just an excuse to put Avengers in mech suits. And really it is. It's like, what if the Avengers were Power Rangers or Transformers or Voltron or Robotech? That's what it is. That's what you're getting here. But you're also getting actually a pretty good story. The art, I'm still kind of on the fence with the art. What do you think of the art, Cam? For Mech Strike? It's not bad, but it's okay. Last issue, we actually saw Black Panther fall and die. And we're going to see what that holds. Yeah. They've gone really wild. So, like I said, I felt like it was just an excuse to put them in suits, and the storyline was, it might be okay. The storyline's really good. It's really good. There's a lot of twists. The final page, did not see it coming. Am having a really good time for the storyline alone. Again, if you're an art snob like me, pick it up, thumb through it, see if you like it. I don't know. I'm still sort of on the fence with the art. Next is a comic that I love and not enough people like, and that's Dugan, Caselli, and Delgado. Again, Marauders, but Jerry Dugan, I never know how to pronounce his name, is just one of my favorite writers. And again, this is him doing what he does best. They have to get into Madripoor, and in doing so, Kate Pryde has to swim up a sewer in Madripoor. Madripoor is easily one of the most dirty cities and most corrupt cities in all of the Marvel universe. And for her to have to do that's foul. And was it funny and awkward and everything else? Yes. And they're also going to tap characters that we haven't seen in a while, which they kind of are mutants. That's all I'm going to say. If you sort of know who I'm hinting at, yes, they count as mutants, but no, not the normal kind of mutants. It's different. It's weird. It's cool. I had a good time. I reached the end of it, and I'm not sure. Like this story wasn't. It didn't desperately need to be told, but Dugan made it fun. So I had a really, really good time with it. And again, if you need a little pirate mutants, pirate, let's just call it Pirate X-Men. If you need a little Pirate X-Men in your life, this is it. Come get it. It's great. Next is Scott Snyder, Tony S. Daniel, and Tomo Mori. And that's Noctera. Now, Noctera centers around a world where people have like gone into cities, walled off city enclaves, and they're hiding from darkness that comes out at night. And they've got to, some people have to move between cities and do trades. And yes, it sounds a lot like my books, oddly enough. So if you've read my books, then you'll be like, wow, Scott Snyder, what's going on here? Is it good? Yes, it's amazing. Anything written by Scott Snyder is amazing. And I feel honored that my brain worked in a way that Scott Snyder's brain worked in. It's really fun to me. And so, yeah, it's great. The art's really, really good. Yogi, can you take this? Thank you. And it's like a neon apocalypse because they've used every sort of lighting you can imagine to keep the darkness at bay. And it's really cool. It's like Vegas meets the apocalypse. I'm having a good time with it, and you will too. It's outstanding. And yes, it's really, really cool to read something that feels like my apocalypse story. So I'm loving that. Next is Sandlin, Xavier, Otero, Arujo, Andrade, and that is Grim Tales of Terror Quarterly, H.H. Holmes. Now, they've taken some liberties here. H.H. Holmes is probably America's most prolific. I can't say he's the most prolific because not a lot of people know him. He is one of the most efficient serial killers in America. He actually had a castle of a house that was located near the World's Fair, and he was luring old women in there and killing them in very vicious ways. I mean vicious ways. Like he killed them in multiple ways and had different kill rooms for different things, and it is just an atrocious true crime story. This centers around that and a fictional story written on top of it in modern times. And look, I'm just going to spoil something for you and say that they kind of made the serial killer a good guy, which is all types of messed up. So that it's weird. It's weird. Really, really weird. But is it good? I had a good time with it. I thought as far as a horror comic was concerned, it was fun. And as far as Zenescope is concerned, I don't tend to like Zenescope, and I had a sort of an okay time with this. Which that's I don't know. It was all right. It was all right. That's the best I'm ever gonna probably give Zenescope there. It was all right. If you need a horror comic, it's good. It's just weird. Really, really weird. Next is Evan Dorkin, Sarah Dyer, Benjamin Dewey, and Nate Picos, and we're talking about Beasts of Burden, issue number 1. Now, did you want a story that was like The Secret Life of Pets, crossed with Sherlock Holmes, crossed with Dr. Dolittle, crossed with a bit of paranormal? That's what you get here, and it's really weird. It's weird. I didn't hate it. It's just sort of a dude's wandering around with a sheepdog that he can talk to and talk to other animals as well, trying to solve crime and stop an upcoming apocalypse. Throw in a dash of zombies, and you've got this book. There's just a lot of moving parts, and I'm not sure what you're going for. So I didn't hate it. It was okay. It was okay. So if that sounds like it might be your jam, hi mom, by the way, I did notice you. If that sounds like it might be your jam, then this will be on our shelf. The art was good. The art was good. I did not have any complaints about the art. The storyline was just, it's a little weird. There's so many moving parts. Let me grab another sip real quick. I'm dying of thirst here, guys. The ice is melted, but somehow it's still cold. It's so good. Next is Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the Avengers, issue number 44 by Aaron, Garan, and Koreal. And we're talking about the wrap-up for Enter the Phoenix. Now, Me and Cam did see a spoiler a while ago, and we sort of kind of called who it was, but also kind of not, because I thought it was going to be somebody else. But I think Cam called it. Yeah, it did turn out that way. Was it good? Yeah, it was a good ending. I had a really good time with it. I think I would have thought that this was a much better ending had they done the King in Black and done this after. I would have been way more into this, but this just felt like a weird side story going on. Well, I wanted everything about King in Black. Was it good? Yeah, it's pretty good. They wrapped it up nicely with a bow. I was not disappointed with the end of this arc. Again, just weird timing. It's a victim of timing. Next is Steve Orlando, Patrick Piazza Lunga. I'm going to say this is the weirdest premise for a comic that I have ever read. Ever. Okay? I'm going to throw this at you guys. This is this is Superman crossed with being John Malkovich.
Okay.
I'm not kidding. That's what this is. And the art was good. The story was good. It's just the weirdest premise I've ever read for a comic. Did I have a good time? Yes, I had a good time, and I want to know where they're going with it. One of the main characters looks like old school Nick Fury, so I'm really sort of partial to that. But again, it's Superman meets being John Malkovich, which I wish I was in the room or just a fly on the wall when the writer pitched this to the artist, because I needed to know exactly what was said. It's such a weird premise for a story. Somehow it works, and I had a good time, and we will have it on our shelf. Is it weird? Yeah, it's weird. Next is Sean Lewis, Caitlin Yarsky, and Ari Plakinski. And we got to talk about this. This is Bliss. We're nearing the end of Bliss, which has been a really amazing run with really amazing art. But I swear to God, and I'm not lying when I say this, that character from this comic is absolutely, without a doubt, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And you cannot look at that cover and tell me that's not her. And that is a character in the comic, but that is without a doubt AOC. And I picked up this cover and was like, what? Like, it looks like they just traced her. Now, the art is really, really good in the story, and I would not ever think that this artist was tracing stuff. But that is definitely her. Is the story good? Yes, it's a father and son sort of redemption story. We've been over it. It's good. I'm still intrigued by it, and I want to know where it's going. I keep tripping off this cover. So this cover alone is worth the buy, because what is going on here? Does she know that her likeness was used in this comic? Like, I want to know, like, if she knows that or not. Like,
That's not the first time she's been in comics.
when I picked that up, you spotted that right away.
Yeah.
Like, that
It was on Epilogue.
that is a dead ringer for her. It's so weird. Next is a comic that, again, almost my pick of the week. Ewing, Bennett, Jose, and Bravo and Mounts. Come on, what is it, Cam? It's Immortal Hulk. Almost my pick of the week. Now, this is going to change everything. We had a team go up against the Immortal Hulk, and they killed him. But, you know, the green door is kind of a revolving door these days. You can kill the Immortal Hulk, and he'll come back and sock you in the jaw. Meanwhile, well, Bruce Banner, as far as we know, is gone. He's just trapped in hell. And the Gray Hulk and Joe Fixit are pretty much – not the Gray Hulk. Joe Fixit and the Savage Hulk are the two of the last men standing, and the Savage Hulk is damaged. So we're going to see something amazing. Something amazing happens. And if you know who my favorite character is that is a certain Gray Hulk, something amazing happens. And I can't talk about it more than that without spoiling it. I've probably already spoiled it. But you need to really read this issue. Yes, we are getting new gamma powers with that reporter lady who was at the very beginning. I called it that she was going to be another form of the Hulk, at least a gamma-powered hero. Yeah, that's already happening in this. Is it good? Yeah, it's great. I love everything about the Immortal Hulk. It is a masterpiece on our shelf, and you should not skip it. This is a Rembrandt, a Van Gogh. This is a piece. Not, I mean, it's Picasso, but I don't know. This is a Gustav Klimt. Gustav Klimt. I got it right the first time. This is an amazing piece of art that you need to own. It's outstanding. One of the best comics on our shelf. Not my pick of the week this week. Not yet. Okay. Next book, Kate's Koala Alberto. We're talking about Venom. And yes, okay, Eddie Brock. We can finally talk about it. Eddie Brock is back to life. Eddie Brock was brought back to life by the Enigma Force. We couldn't talk about this last time. If you don't know what the Enigma Force is, the Enigma Force is I think 30-year-long mystery in Marvel that centers around a power, a force that creates Captain Universe that comes from this tiny, tiny, microscopic, infinitely small universe that sits at the center of the Marvel Universe, inside of a particle, inside of a particle, inside of a particle. If you remember Ant-Man going through the quantum verse and getting smaller and smaller, if he would have eventually gone all the way to the very end of creation, he would have found this universe that is the host of the Enigma Force. And that's all we've ever known. It's never been explained until the last issue of Venom, and it was explained that it is a symbiote of light, which is amazing and fits the bill because the Enigma Force does talk to whoever is Captain Universe, and it's awesome. So that's the counter to null. We finally got an answer in that. Eddie Brock is being brought back to life, and we're going to see light fight dark in perhaps my favorite Marvel event to date. I have loved everything about it. Can you think of a better event? Secret Invasion, maybe? Secret Invasion is still one of my favorites. I did like War of the Realms. It just wasn't as good as this is. It's a close second. This is just outstanding work by Donny Cates. So Venom, not my pick of the week. Still not my pick of the week. It's good, not my pick of the week. Don't skip it. Don't skip it. And the reading order is Venom, and then the next book that I'm going to talk about right now, if I could find a copy of it in my stack. My God, can I find a copy of it? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, I was about to lose my mind here. Let me show you the other Venom cover that you should absolutely get, and that is the Stegman variant. If you didn't know Venom could fly, we found that out, I think, issue 6. Next is Kate, Stegman, Mayor Martin, with my pick of the week for Marvel, without a doubt, goes to King in Black. For all the reasons I said in the previous issues of Venom, and then I can't really talk too much about this without spoiling Venom. You need to read Venom first and then read King in Black. This is the wrap-up. This is the final fight. Yes, it is light versus darkness. Is it amazing? Outstanding. Ridiculously cool. I love the end of this event. It was just amazing. And honestly, it creates a terrible, terrible problem for the Marvel Universe for years to come, maybe. We're not entirely sure. Is this absolutely the last book, or is there one more, an epilogue? Epilogue? So Venom 35 is going to be the epilogue. If Venom 35 doesn't take care of this problem, the Marvel Universe is going to be haunted by the fallout from this war. That's all I'm going to say. You're going to need to read it to find out. Is it good? Amazing. Outstanding. Again, probably my favorite event of all time for Marvel. At least it's a close second. Don't skip it. Don't skip it. Don't skip it. Rush down and buy it while we have copies. If we don't have copies, go somewhere else and get it, but don't skip it. Next is Older Talabo Nalty, and we're talking about Star Wars High Republic Adventures. This centers around, two kids that are Force sensitive. One goes with the Order, and the other does not. He goes with, very dark side sort of crime syndicate people. And we're going to see how this plays out. We've sort of seen stuff like this before. Star Wars seems to love the whole counterbalance of where there's good, there's evil. And they always pair them up quite nicely. And I want to know where this is going. Right now, these kids are friends. Probably not by the end of Star Wars Adventures. Is it fun? Yes. And you're getting a story that centers around, a couple of future Padawans. They seem like they're just about beyond the age of younglings. But is it good? Yeah, it's great. It's great. All the Star Wars Adventure stuff is good. The art is so. If you have to pick between this and the other Star Wars Adventures book, I would say it settles on age. If I was a teenager, a tween, I'd probably be okay with Adventures. Maybe not a teenager. Anyone past the tween, I would suggest Scott and Dito Morales and Leone. And we're talking about Star Wars Adventures, or not Adventures, Star Wars High Republic. The Adventures tend to be the kids' comics, and the High Republic the more adult. This one centers around, well, a dark side infused hive mind plant. That's what we found out in the last issue, and we're gonna see where that goes. All the Jedi have to counter it. One of them actually is kind of infested with it right now, and that's about all I can say from there. Is it awesome? Yes. And the Jedi they've introduced are just outstanding. Two of them I think share the same mind, like they're twins. They share the same mind. So they have a hive mind, and meanwhile, they're up against another hive mind in the form of this crazy plant organism that reminds me of the Flood from Halo. It really does. So is it good? Yes, it's outstanding. If you need a good Star Wars comic, this one is it. This should be in your life. This all takes place before Star Wars A New Hope, before Empire, before Return of the Jedi. It's right before that when Yoda was younger. So, I don't know, it could be 500 years before that because Yoda's species lives a long time. 50 years as a toddler? Next is Seeley, Howard and Howard, Pramanik, Guden, Duke, and Onworld. And we're talking about the amazing Vampire the Masquerade, Winter's Teeth. I love this series. The art is really, really good. The storyline is great. It does have one story that centers around the Camarilla, which are the Ivory Tower clans, and the other one that centers around the Anarchs. And those stories did kind of intersect. Meanwhile, we've got a fledgling who's just trying to survive and make proper choices by her adopted sire. There is tons of politics. If you like Vampire the Masquerade, you like the dark, sinister politics of vampire lore. And trust me, if you like those RPGs, you will absolutely love this series. It's outstanding, and I honestly hope it never comes to an end. I'm just going to say it. It's that good. It's not my indie pick of the week, but whenever I read these, they're almost it. Almost it. Next is Lambert, Box, Angulo, and we're talking about Ring of Fire, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We should also be talking about the fact that Joss Whedon's name is not up here with the creators list anymore, and his banner, which used to be huge and say, created by Joss Whedon, is very, very small these days. I have to wonder if it's not because of the recent news of all the harassment and other stuff that has been going on. So he's got less of a hand in this. Is the comic good? Yes, it's great. The art is amazing. It's another Buffy story. We've seen Xander turn on Willow and bring out the darkness in her in the last issue, which anything centering around Dark Willow is instantly my favorite. Those were my favorite episodes of Buffy, and yeah, that's what you get in here. So all you need to know is that it's a new take on the old characters, and it's good. Next is Burnham and Burkham, and we're talking about Transformers Beast Wars, which Cam promises me is the best Transformers, and I have to disagree because I'm an old fart who grew up with the original Transformers. Oh, okay. Well, you said it's the best animated. But I will tell you, as someone who knows literally nothing about Transformers Beast Wars, I am having a good time. Again, Transformers is very political at times, and then like a bunch of fighting as well. And that's what you get here. Is it good? Yes, it's good. I don't know any of these characters. Like there's a pink fruit bat Transformer that I don't know who that is, but I like that character quite a bit. So you get all that stuff in here. Is it good? Yes, it's great. It's great. I don't know anything about Beast Wars, and even I'm kind of intrigued. So that should tell you something. Come pick it up. Next is a book that was almost my pick of the week. It was right there for indie pick. It got beat out by that other book. This is Jeff Johns, Gary Frank, Brad Anderson, and you told me, Yogi, that this was the team that worked on Doomsday Clock. I know Jeff Johns did. Gary Frank worked on Doomsday Clock? Oh, he what? Oh, okay. So maybe it's the team that worked on Doomsday Clock. Definitely Jeff Johns. It centers around, well, I have to talk a little bit about it because there's no way to talk about a number one without talking about some spoilers. So that's a problem. Maybe mute your stuff for the next minute. But it centers around a nuclear apocalypse, and the rest of the world has to use suits to walk outside of cities. Meanwhile, there's one man called the Glowing Man who can walk around without it. This is his origin story, how he came to be. And more importantly, it's going to have Vegas divided up into different tribes that feel very much like Batman villains. It was really, really cool to see. So I had a good time with it. It was an amazing comic. The art was good. The story was good. It's Scott Snyder doing what Scott Snyder. I mean, not Scott Snyder. Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns doing what Jeff Johns does. And if you know that you like Jeff Johns, you'll probably love this. I'm going to tell you, Twitch, my phone is about to die. I'm hoping it has enough power to. Oh, you know what? Let me plug it in. Give me 1 second, guys. We only have a few books left, but I gotta plug in Twitch. Maybe get it to survive. Maybe you'll survive, Twitch. Just get this plugged in. Don't you come unplugged twice? Okay, well, you're gonna lean. Sorry, Twitch. You guys are going to get a weird angle, but that's the best I can do and make sure you don't power off. Sorry, Twitch. You're going to be at a weird angle. I don't know what else to do on that. Next is The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 63. Now, we saw last issue that not Robbie, but not Robbie Robertson, but his grandson, I think it is, or maybe son. One of the Robertsons is in love with Tombstone's granddaughter or daughter. I can't remember. Maybe daughter. Which is all types of problems. It's a criminal, and just not a hero. Although he might be a hero at some point in the multiverse. But a non-hero criminal and a criminal being in love. And the problems that might entail. Is it good? Yeah, it's good. Meanwhile, Spider-Man's still doing the social media app tied to his suit. So every time he's fighting crime, there's a million people watching and voting on the quips he's going to say, which is weird but funny. It's a weird position for Spider-Man to be in. I still hate this new suit. But that's not the center of the story. This is actually centering around a love story and sort of the problems that parents' baggage can cause for their kids in love stories. Is it good? Yeah, it's great. Honestly, this stuff is awesome. It's Nick Spencer returning to his form and getting rid of that Sin Eater stuff that I couldn't stand. And I'm having a good time with it. I do hate the suit. I'm going to pull no punches on that one. Can't stand it. Next is, this is Virgin Augustin. Is he the one that's doing the art and the story? Yeah, writer and artist. Good on you. The Sumerian, Iron Shadows of the Moon. Now, these are the old Robert E. Howard stories, which for Conan are really chauvinistic and at times can be not sensitive to the times we live in. These are very unfiltered, uncensored. Are they good stories? I keep forgetting that I have an Instagram camera over here, so I'll try to show it to you guys. Are these good stories? Yes, they're good stories. They're just, at times, they can feel a bit much, a bit old worldly is all I'm going to say. The art is kind of cool. It's not bad art. It just feels a bit wild that the guy's doing writer and artist. You don't see that all that often these days. Here and there, but not too often. It's good art, good story. This one centers around, well, a temple and a perhaps cursed forest, and that's all I'm going to say. Conan rescuing a gal. Yeah. Next is The Silver Coin. My throat is going, and I'm out of soda. Is there any soda in the back? Like a ramen maybe in the fridge? If not, it's cool. Next is The Silver Coin, and this is Chip Zdarsky and Michael Walsh. Chip Zdarsky keeps doing these amazing books, and I'm going to say that this is no different. Yes, this is an Image. I can't remember where we've been seeing him lately, but this is, I think, a different label for him these days. But it centers around a cursed coin being used to rock. Yeah. There's no way that's going to blow up anyone's face. Is the story good? Yes, the story is amazing. The art is really, really good. It is a rock story and a curse, exactly what I wanted. You got me something? Oh, dude, thank you so much. Exactly what I wanted. Chip Zdarsky is honestly the hotness these days. What's he doing coming up? Oh, Daredevil right now. That's right. Yeah, he has something in the works that we were excited about, and I can't remember what it was.
Was it
Oh,
Spire Shadow?
the what?
The Spire Shadow that What If is coming out?
I think it is that What If that's coming out. It's where Spider-Man doesn't give up the symbiote. Boy, that was all bad. Hang on a second, guys. I think I just blasted this comic with soda. Not good. Okay. My throat is good now. So the art is amazing. The storyline, it's a cursed story centering around a cursed coin and a guitarist. And yes, that does blow up in their face. But let me tell you, if you're gonna tell a rock story, this is how you tell it. It is, the colors are bright. It's amazing. It definitely has a lot of heart to it. And by the end of the story, I wanted to see more of the cursed rocker. But the coin's going to go. I have a feeling that the coin is just going to go from person to person, and we're going to get different iterations of different curses. And that's always fun to me. I like those kind of stories. We will have that on our shelf. I promise you, we will have a soda-free one on our shelf. Next is Barnes, Orlando, Bayreuth, Sandoval, Nava, and Rosenberg, Arcianega. There's a lot of people working on this book. And it shows this is Planet of the Symbiotes. Now, I will tell you that Planet of the Symbiotes, in my opinion, is kind of a filler story. Did you like the first one?
Yeah, the first one was okay.
It was okay.
The second one kind of killed it.
You didn't like the second one. Okay.
The one with Tom Zilla.
Yeah, Todzilla. That's right. Todzilla, the kaiju, weird kaiju, I guess you'd call him. That's weird. This one, you get a Cloak and Dagger story that is pretty good, but more importantly, you get a Toxin story centering around a character called Guardian that is a green power suit created by Iron Man. And is really cool. We were calling it the Green Machine. I like the look of it. I don't know. I don't really like the character very much, but I like the look of it. So that's cool to see. And anything with a new symbiote, well, Toxin in a new form, I guess, attached to a new person, it's pretty darn good. I want to know where they're going to go with that story. And I don't know if they're going to expand on it, but they really, really should, because that second story was amazing. First one, Cloak and Dagger, it was an okay story. But really, that second story sold it for me. And I had a really good time with that. Now, again, I'm going to preface that this Planet of the Symbiotes comic is pretty much filler. It's not necessary to really get King of Black. So if you don't have the finances, those are the kind of books you can skip from an event and not really miss out. Next is Robert Kirkman, Chris Samney with Matt Wilson and Russ Wooton, and we're talking about Firepower. This is really what if Ken Masters from Street Fighter settled down, had a family, and was still chased by ninjas. That's essentially what you get with Firepower, but there's so much more story. You get story, you get tradition. Yes, you do occasionally get attacked by, I don't know if you can call them ninjas, but Kung Fu Master clans and stuff like that. You can't really call them ninjas, can you? Because I think it's Kung Fu, and that's China. But is it good? Yeah, it's great. I'm not bored at all with this whatsoever. I think it's honestly a really good story. At times it's slice of life. At times it's action. This one's pretty heavy on action, and the art is mind-blowing. I'm still kind of wondering. It just seems like a lot of politics between different martial arts clans. I'm not entirely sure where they're going, but anything with Kirkman's name attached to it is great these days. Fingers crossed that the rumors that he's in talks to buy DC from AT&T turn out to be true, because with Robert Kirkman at the helm, I think DC will go to the moon. Next is Aller and Tucker. I know those names not at all. And we're talking about Hollow Heart, which was a sci-fi sort of love story of sacrifice. along with a giant robot, cybernetic robot, I think it was. Uh, it's weird, it's very surreal, and it's fun. The art is what kind of did it for me. It's weird, but I can't put my finger on it. I do kind of like it. I'm not sure what the reasons for that are. The storyline feels like something that I really need to sit down and just read all the way through. But I think that there is quite a bit of depth here. I just need to absorb it a little better. Is it good? Yes, it's good. I would say don't skip it. I read the first one and was a little on the fence about it. I thought it was okay, pretty good for the opener. I read the second one and I was like, oh, okay, I'll probably keep reading this. So you might get a review of this every time it comes out. It's good. This one, it doesn't change too much. It just puts a couple of the characters in a rather awkward situation. I'm not bored, and weird to say, but Vault is quickly becoming one of my favorite imprints these days. Good showing from Vault, honestly. We haven't seen, it was like we didn't have any comics from Vault when we opened the store, did we, Yogi? Not much that I can think of.
We got what we could.
We got what we could, but it always felt like it was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Reaching back and grabbing for that classic form.
Yeah, lately they've just been really hammering it home, and I've been having a good time with them. Next is Steve Orlando, David Tinto, and this is good. I think it's David Tinto. I probably pronounced his name wrong. We're talking about Commanders in Crisis. This centers around superpowered presidents from other worlds of the multiverse coming together in one final world to try and save it after the rest of the worlds have fallen. It's weird. This is what if President Superman there was 10 of them, or I can't remember how many of them are there in this. Do you remember? 8. They're all different characters. They're very, very, very different characters with different power sets, and they're all really fun. And a lot of them feel like they're wearing power armor at times. But what really sells it for me with this series, I figured out what I really like, and that's the villains. The villains are so campy. They feel like Batman characters crossed with He-Man. And that's not an exaggeration. Do you remember the character whose face would like flip over and he had like a really sort of stocky head, neck, and body?
Many faces?
Yeah, many faces. Many faces. There is a character in this that looks like many faces, but his head is just a gun. Yeah. Yeah. And I got to tell you, I love campy stuff like that. It was really fun, reminding me of my childhood. The rest of the story is really good, and I do like all these characters, but I'm just going to call it the villains are what really make this comic special. It's a good comic all around. That's the selling point for me. So don't skip it. I'm having a good time, and I think you will too. This Commanders in Crisis series, I'm sad that I jumped in on it late. I really did. I didn't review it until I think book 3, and then I was a little confused at the time. So I might actually go pick up the trade on that. That's our show for this week. My throat almost didn't make it. I'm so glad Cam found this Ramune. I thought for sure I was done for it. My throat it was too much talking. I was hyped this week. It was just a really, really good week for comics. Dude, they were so good. Like you guys, I got to speed read comics, and I'm a really good speed reader. I'm really good at reading in general. My mom, when I was a kid, and hi mom, I don't know if you're still watching. When I was a kid, my mom used to let me like go to the bookstore, and as long as I wanted to read, she would buy me books. And I was reading Brian Lumley's Necroscope series when I was like in junior high, and these were these thick novels that like centered around like vampires in the most insidious of forms, and they're really, really good books. They're just gigantic things with hideous covers. And so I think because of that, I really, really love to read, and I'm really good at reading. And I can speed read like nobody's business and just absorb something like really, really quick. But so I have to read like a novel of comics every single time we do comic reviews, and it's so much. And while I get it done and I get the gist of everything, there are just times where I want to sit and just enjoy the art and enjoy the story. And this is a week to end all weeks where I had to speed read a lot of these books, but there were so many that I was like, oh God, I wish I could spend more time with this book. So this is the week not to skip. If you've been on the fence about picking up a lot more comics, this is your week. Trust me, you want to come get them this week. Everything out there this week is good, and there's a reason why I'm charged up, because it's just a bunch of fun on our shelves. So we will have it, and that's our show for this week. Instagram, I knocked you over somehow. I don't know what happened. That's our show for this week. We will see you all next week. And I don't know, do the dance. I'm going to put my mask back on, guys. Please do that.
I'll unplug you here.
Thank you.